Hi, my name's David Lemay, and I'm here to talk about week one of producing the high school play. Um, Definitely got a lot out of this week. There was a lot to think about and realize. Um, One of the things that struck me right away was how recent the idea of having a director is. Just the fact that that's the baby in the entire world of theater is kind of crazy to think about for me. It's such a unifying force to bring all of the technical pieces together, to bring all of the actors together. It just seems like a no brainer that it always would have been there. So I just thought that was really, really a cool realization from our first chapter. Um, some other things that really stood out to me was how important it is to analyze and really have a valid analysis of the script and staying true to that. Um, I know for me when I look at a show and try and decide what I want to do for my school, I'm a middle school theater teacher, and we do one main stage production a year. Um, so a lot of the scripts that we look at are, kind of the Shrek Juniors and the Finding Nemo Juniors. Not to say that there's not a lot of depth in those scripts, but they are a little easier to sort through. Um, but they also lend themselves to some pretty cool visionaries or different visions that we could take for the show as a director, which I also think is really important. Um, I know one thing that I like to try and do is to consume as much theater as possible. And that involves not only going to shows, but reading through a wide variety of scripts, and even watching television performances and movies, and just trying to pick out some of the ways to develop my own vision. That's definitely something that I've struggled with in the past, and I'd really like to get better at. Is that whole idea of analyzing the script and really coming up with a true vision for the show that respects the playwright. So that's definitely something I really took away from. Um, a few other things that I thought were really compelling was the idea of following a budget, and having the director being like the ship's captain. That was something that really stuck with me when that description was made in Katron. Um, you really are like a captain of the ship. You have to make decisions, and right or wrong, that decision you own it. Um, but it's also really important to have people around you that you can bounce ideas off of. Being able to be that artistic unification, I think, is really, really important. Um, and I look forward to learning more about that, and seeing that put into practice a little bit more in my own space. Um, Another thing that really struck a chord with me was how important, when I was reading through the Bowman chapter, about how important it is to hire or choose a stage manager. That was a game changer for me. My first year directing at my school, I was a one man show. I did absolutely everything by myself. I had nobody that was helping me. And year two, I decided I can't do that anymore. So I was able to convince my administration that I needed to bring another person on. And that was in the form of a stage manager. And it made all the difference in the world. I think overall, I got a lot out of this first week. It definitely makes me think about what we're doing for a show next year. We're just starting the process, but we'll be choosing our musical within the next week. So I think this is kind of a perfectly timed class as well for us, for my school. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more. All right. Thank you very much.